Hello, and it's the Warpforge with an Ave Dominus Nox update. So, in this update, it's sort of a little bit off topic from the original point. Sorry about that. And that's mainly because I painted this model because I felt it deserved it. Now, as you can tell, that's probably one of the old metal models. Yes, it is one of the old metal Daemon Prince models. And to roughly say, I've had this model since 2007. Now, obviously, when I painted it up, it was on Terminator base. I slapped turquoise all over it, and it was all sorts of pretty colours. It was like Joseph and the Technicoloured Dream Daemon Prince, if that makes sense. And so, because of that, I found this model again because, for whatever reason, I put it in a box, put it in my cupboard, and I could never find it again. But I found it again, finally, after years, and I looked at this model and I thought, you know what, this model has been there for me since 4th edition Codex, sorry. It's been throughout my 5th edition cycle, and it was always there for us. It was there busting tanks left, right and centre. It was killing those lone monstrous creatures. So it was there occasionally killing the odd special character, usually getting its ass handed because, you know, special characters are dead hard. But yeah, he was a tough unit to be reckoned with. So I decided, you know what, let's indoctrinate him into the ranks of the 8th Legion. So I'm just going to give you a quick spin with my special Aldi table thing, spinny chair. It's like one of those cake stands, but I just decided, you know what, it'll look good. I think it was about tenner from Aldi, as I just said. It is late at night, guys. It's about between 12 and 1 in the morning, so I'm a bit tired. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the paint scheme came out. It took us forever to strip him because I stripped him in Dettol, and this is from my own first impressions and experience. I'm not really too impressed, only because I stripped him, but he still had black bits on him. Every time I tried to clean, I ended up having to use a scalpel to really clean out all the like grimy bits on the end. But yeah, I did that. Then I started building him up, and I started building him up by using green stuff on the top here, just to build up the muscles on the top, and then I ended up plugging in 2 of the Vargeist wings. I ended up plugging 2 of the Vargeist wings in to give him the wing option, because, you know, he's a Night Lord at the end of the day. 8th Legion, if he didn't have massive bat wings coming out of his back, I'm sorry, I don't know where I would be. What sort of sense would I be making? So yeah, I'm happy with how he turned out. I'm not really going to go too much into the paint scheme, but I will give you alternate looks now. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, I'm going to just lift him up a little bit, just showing the details inside, the purple wire and the purple warped up spikes mutating out of his torso, the skull painted white face, the black eyes, and there is a bit of fluff that I've got for him. The basic plot or synopsis that I have is that he was the previous warband leader before Coraxus took over, and the idea I had going for this Daemon Prince was that his name was Mor'drak, and as he saw the descent of Kurz on Talguska, or however you pronounce it, he decided, right, I'm fucking off, like the rest of them. And at that time, a huge bulk of the Legion broke off because Kurz didn't care, and they didn't care for Kurz at the end of the day because they lost the heresy, and what else were they going to do apart from mourn with Kurz? So they wanted to do something, so they fucked off. So Mor'drak is one of the Chaos Lords that fucked off along with Coraxus. And somewhere along the line, he gets mortally wounded. Probably, I'm going to say by an eviscerator or whatever, eviscerator from a Space Marine, and he gets lopped in half, torso upwards, or torso in half, vertically? Yes. No, horizontally, vertically kind of thing. You know, you get the picture. And as his request to be entombed in a dreadnought to keep on sort of commanding the 8th Legion, because in his mind, if he's entombed in a dreadnought, he's going to stay in command because he likes his position of power. that he is his own boss, and he still thinks that in a dreadnought he'd still be able to do this. It hasn't been unknown for contenders to go to feral worlds and conquer them, because if you're on a feral world full of people with sticks and stones and you're made out of living giant ceramite and you're 16 foot high, you're seen as a god. So he kind of thought along those lines and decided, you know what, I'm going to be still head of my own boss. Unfortunately, these plans weren't really put into action, as Caraxus just blasted his face off with his plasma pistol, lying there dead. His soul, being transferred to the Sea of Souls, is enraged, not in anger but in bitter hatred for absolutely everything. His mind is dark, as with every 8th Legion, but he's just so spiteful at this point. He does get noticed by a minor demon, however. His hatred, his utter contempt, his utter disdain for what's happened to him, it gets noticed by a minor demon. This minor demon pulls him into whatever his realm is, and it's just an empty black void. It is a black space. And he talks around with Mor'drak, and he basically says, look, I don't want you to worship me, because when you don't worship me, you're actually worshipping me. And I am no Tizcan, or no Tizcan worship. And Mor'drak, intrigued but also irritated, because Mor'drak really doesn't like the arrogance of Tizcans, gets a little bit more spiteful, but reluctantly agrees to set out a deal with this minor demon. The minor demon gives him a deal of becoming or ascending to demonhood, as long as he just tries to eliminate everything he sees. He will grant him form a little bit of a force. He has to generate his own force in order just to completely wipe everything he sees out of his path, as long as it's out of spite and bitter hatred. And to help him along with those goals, he has a blade, and he says forth, "This is my blade. I will give you my blade as long as you kill and destroy in the name of spite, anger, and nothing more." And so he goes around destroying worlds underneath him, and so forth and so on. Now, because the Night Lords do generally have a thing against ascending to demonhood and becoming demons and mutations and all that, he does have a deep-seated hatred for himself, which perpetuates and just self-fulfill, and it becomes basically a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. Hence why what I've tried to do on the paint scheme on his face is he's got black eye sockets, but he's also got, I've tried to paint like black tears coming down him because of his disdain and bitterness of his existence. He hates it. He hates his existence, which just perpetuates onto the battlefield. So yeah, that is roughly the background of my Demon Prince. What this does for me, as not just a Night Lords player, but as more of a storyteller, it allows us to play somewhat two separate factions within me Night Lords. I've got Caraxus, who's made his dark dealings with Zephron, the Master of Puppets, and then you've got me Mor'drak, who hates himself, and all he wants to do is kill Caraxus at this point for this whole bitter spite and bitter hatred for himself. So it allows us to play a lot more on the demony lines, I feel, as long as he gets assimilated demon hosts and maybe like possessed marines who are on the same path as him, who just want to kill things out of blind spite and bitterness. Then you should go ahead and kill stuff, and it allows us to do a little bit more plot point. For one, you've got Caraxus, who sees a vision to reunite or to remake the 8th Legion under under the core fundamentals of the Legion, not really from Kurz, but from Kurz's teachings per se. And then you've got Mor'drak, who's just out on a giant revenge or vengeance quest against Coraxus. So again, 2 different plot points, 2 separate ways to play the game, 1 legion, 1 paint scheme. I think it's nice to play around with that, and this is what I like about the 41st Millennium, is that it is, in a sense, narrative driven. It does play a lot around with chaos. Well, it just plays a lot around with storytelling and showing how flawed these characters really are. Because, to me at least, my perception is flawed characters give more plot development to see how their characters evolve, or see how their personalities and their characters evolve over time, over the course of many battles and whatever you have, all the way up until the final conflict, which to me would be Mor'drak finally catching up to Coraxus in both their final states, of him being a demon that hates himself against Coraxus, who in his final form, which I'll tell more away, is more machine than Astartes at that point, who also hates himself, drawing on that dark downward spiral Macbethian vibes that the Night Lords give out per se. So yeah, that's the fluff behind this guy, and I'm really happy with him. I'm happy with the paint scheme. I think this is the first time I've done layering on a model this size as well, especially the red paint, and I think it's went fantastically. You can see like where it gets darker and where it gets lighter on the hand, especially where it goes around on the muscles, on the wings and the neck and stuff, and on the horns. I'm also quite happy with the little face here. Just how I've built that up from dark blue to turquoise to electric blue to ghost grey from Vigello's game colour range, which is like, it is the illusion of white, if that makes sense. It's a very, very light grey, but I think with whites it's less. It's the same with the face paint. That's not white. That is game colour's wolf grey. But it looks white. It's the illusion that it gives itself a white look, because I find white to be too thick. Like when you spray it for primer, it turns rather dusty for some reason, unless I've got like a faulty spray. But I just find that instead of just painting direct white, just give the illusion of white, and it tricks the eyes that easily. You would think that would be white instantly. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how I've built that little face up. I'm quite happy how I've built it all up. Any critiques? The only critique I can make is, aside from the edge highlighting on the greys, is the Space Marine helmet that you can't really see, because I tried to do something like Dark Angels or Salamanders and it didn't really pay off, but you can't see it, so to me it's just no harm done really. So yeah, aside from that, I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. I'm happy with how like the arm turned out, and how the red ribs on it and the cannon turned out and stuff. I'm really happy with this model all in all. So that is another Ave Dominus Nox project video. This was Mor'drak, the ever hateful or spiteful. Oh, Mor'drak the Spiteful. Yes, that's going to be his name. That's going to be the title of this video. So thank you for watching. This is if you liked what you heard and you want to see more battles, or hopefully battle reports with this guy in, please subscribe to the channel and put the notification buttons on. If you want to talk about anything in the comment section below, please, I'm happy to talk to you or my Hereteks at home in the comment section. And if you thought this was a good video, then please share the video out there, get the name out. Thank you very much. This is the Warp Forge, signing out, and remember, keep on forging.